Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. If you have, thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to wish you all a happy Monday. I hope it's going great and I hope you're all staying cool and safe wherever you are because the weather is humid and hot just about everywhere. So today I want to show you this real great stitch. You can make Afghans with it, baby blankets, shawls, scarves. You can make the mesh carry bags, a mesh grocery bag with this. You can make, let us know what you want to make with this. I guess you could even make a cover up with this. You could make, let's see, so many things. I would even consider making a shawl with this, like I said. So I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make this stitch, and it's beginner to advanced and everyone in between, and also for someone that has not ever picked up a crochet hook. Welcome. So I'm going to show you this easy stitch, and it's called the cluster mesh stitch. Again, the cluster mesh stitch, and I want to show you just how pretty it is. So what we have to do with this stitch is we have to crochet a multiple of 3 plus 2. So it's 3 plus 3 plus 3, as wide as you want, and then add 2 at the end. So I am using an H hook, and this is a basic stitch by Lion Brand yarn, and it's a light green. And today I'm going to be using, again, basic stitch by Lion Brand, and this is called Lemonade, and it's 100% acrylic. So I'm going to say, let's get started and let's see what we can make with this beautiful, beautiful stitch. Because, like I said, there's a lot of things that you could make with this. You just have to think of something that maybe we haven't thought of yet. So let's get started, and I want to find the beginning of my yarn here, and I wanted to loosen that up a bit so it would move right along. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip knot. After we do our slip knot, we're going to chain, like I said, multiples of 3 plus 2. So I'm going to chain 21 and then add 2 to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, plus 1 and 2. And I'm going to just put this down, and I want to show you that you just make it the width of whatever it is you're making. Now what we're going to do is, and before I go forward, this is your working chain, not considered a chain, just your working, and these are your chains, and they look like these. And here is your slip knot for those of you that are actually new to crochet. So what's going to happen now is in the 8th, yes, I said the 8th chain from the hook, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the 8th chain from the hook, we are going to make double crochet, 3 double crochet clusters. So 3 double crochets, but they're going to be clusters. So we're going to go in that 8th chain, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And we're going to pull up a loop. So I want to show you. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through 2. Then we're going to not finish it off, and we're going to yarn over, and go into that same chain and pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and we're going to just pull through 2. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go a 3rd time and pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through 2. You're going to have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 4. And that is your double crochet cluster of 3. So after you do that, you're going to chain 1 and 2. You're going to skip 2 stitches. You chain 2, you skip 2 stitches at the bottom, 1, 2. And in this 3rd one, we're going to make our cluster. So we're going to go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go in again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go in a 3rd time, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 on your hook, yarn over, go through all 4. So now we're going to chain 1, we're going to chain 2. We're going to do this right across. So what we're doing right now is we made our chains, which are down here, and now we're making this row. So now we're going to yarn over and we're going to skip, we did chain 2, and we're going to skip 1, 2 in the bottom and go into this next chain and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into that again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 4 on your hook, yarn over, and pull through 4. And like I said, we're going to do this repeat right across. So now we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're just going to keep doing it. Yarn over. After you chain 2, you skip 1, 2, and you're going to make another one in here. Have 4 on your loop, yarn over. You're going to go all through all 4. Now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. You're going to skip 1, 2, and in this last stitch, the very last stitch after you chain 2 and you skip 2, you're going to put just 1 double crochet. And this is your first row. So I want to show you what it looks like. So what we made was we made this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. Just 1. We're going to turn our work. We're going to make a single crochet in this first stitch above that double crochet. So now I want to mention So we did that. I want to mention, see in between the clusters where you did the chain 2, you're going to put 2 single crochets. In the middle of this cluster, you're going to put 1 single crochet. The middle of the chain 2, 2 single crochets. In the cluster, in the middle of it, 1 single crochet. And we're going to do this right along. 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, 1 single crochet above that cluster. And we're going to do this right across. Single crochet right above that cluster. And you find the spot right in the middle. Now I want to mention, once you get to the end of this row, because you did your baseline row, the beginning of your chains, and then you did your row with your clusters, and then we're doing here the single crochets across. When you get to the end, you want to remember that this chain is 2 chains are part of this. So you're going to go in here and you're going to make 2 more single crochets. You don't want to forget this step. So 1 single crochet and a second single crochet. Once you do that, at the top of 1, 2, 3, at the top of the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, you make a single crochet. And that's where you end on this row. Now, I want to also mention that this is going to be a 2-row repeat, but we're not going to start that yet because we're going to go on. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This chain 5 consists of a double crochet, it's considered, and a chain 2. Then you're going to turn your work around. You're not going to put anything here because this is your double crochet and your chain 2. You're going to skip this single crochet and this single crochet. So you're going to skip 1, 2, and on top of this cluster, you're going to make another cluster. So you're going to go in and make another cluster. And remember, you're going to have 4 chains left, and then you're going to close it up. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to skip 2, and you're going to go into this next cluster, and you're going to make another cluster. You have 4 loops on your hook. You yarned over. You're going to take this and go right through. And again, you're going to chain 1 and 2 and you're going to remember that you're going to skip 2 below. And then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go above, and you're going to make another cluster above the cluster from below. And then you're going to chain 1 and 2, and you're going to skip 2, and you're going to continue. Then you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Now you're going to skip this stitch and this stitch, and you're going to make another cluster above the cluster from below. I go slow so you can follow along. You can write it down because I want everybody to be able to learn these stitches. So now once you finish your cluster, you're going to close it up by chaining 1, chaining 2, and you skip this and this stitch, and you go again above that cluster from below, and you make another one. Your cluster consists of 3 double crochets that you don't finish until you finish up what is your cluster. So now once you do that, you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Now we're going to skip, and right above this we're going to put a double crochet. Now what I want to say is, now that we've done that and we've got our base done, and I'll call it a base, we're going to chain. So let's consider this your repeat row. You could consider this, or you could consider this, but I say let's consider this so that you've got that worked out in your head. So now what we're going to do here is, because you have your clusters in this row, after you always finish your cluster, your row of clusters, you're going to chain 1. So let's consider this your 2-row repeat. You're going to turn your work. Once you turn your work, you're going to single crochet in that first stitch. And then you're going to do 2 single crochet in your chain 2 space. Once you do that, you're going to go in the middle of your cluster and make a single crochet, just 1. So all you have to remember with this is you make a single crochet when you start, after you turn your work, and then you make 2 single crochets in your chain 2 space and 1 single crochet in your cluster. So this is, think of this as row 2 and 3 repeat. So now what we're going to do is do a single crochet in the chain 2 space. Single crochet in the cluster, 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet in the cluster, single crochets 2 in this chain 2 space, single crochet in the cluster, single crochets 2 in that chain 2 space. This is a 2-row repeat, so think of this as row 2 and 3. because this is row 1, this is row 2, so 2 and 3. 2 is your single crochets, 3 is your cluster. Then once you do your 2 single crochets, you're going to do a single crochet in the middle of that cluster. Here's 2 more in this chain 2 space. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a single crochet in the 1, 2, and 3rd chain. You're going to make 1 single crochet. And here's how it looks. So now we're going to do row 3 of the 2 row repeat. So row 2 was your repeat for your single crochets. Now we're going to do row 3 of your 2 row repeat. We're going to chain 1, we're going to chain 2, we're going to chain 3, we're going to chain 4, and we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3 equals a double crochet. 1, 2 equals your chain 2 space. You're going to turn your work around. You're going to skip 1 and 2, and we're going to go in the middle, and we're going to make our cluster. Right in the middle of that, you're going to make your cluster. Now remember, this is your double crochet. 1, 2. Those are your 2 double crochet, single crochets that were in your chain 2 space. So now you're going to start your cluster. And if you look at, and I'll show you what I mean, if you look at the stitch, you'll be able to tell as you go along where you've got to be. So now you did your cluster, you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. If you look below, you can see 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. That's your 3rd one. That's where you go and you make your next cluster. You always have 4 on your hook when you close this up. Chain 1, chain 2. You're going to skip this, and you can see how you can see it if you look. Yep, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. That's where you're going to go and make your cluster in that 3rd spot. Chain 1, chain 2, and again, see your 2 single crochets? I'm going to put the hook from behind. There's 1, there's 2, and in the next one you're going to make your next cluster. See how pretty it is? And this lemonade yellow, it's really pretty, and it's just sticks out. Chain 1, chain 2. It's a real pretty color. 1, 2, and in this 3rd one, we're going to make a cluster. Two row repeat. This is row 2 of your 2 row repeat. Chain 1, chain 2. Always remember that your first row of your 2 row repeat is your single crochets. Your second row of your 2 row repeat is your clusters. Skip, skip. In this last one, we make a single crochet. And I'm going to put it up against this one so you can see. Isn't it pretty? And the more colorful the yarn, the more like the stitch pops. So now we did our clusters. So we're not going to chain 5 here. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work around, and in this first stitch, we're going to make a single crochet. And I just want to show you. I'm going to do a close-up of that so you can see it. I want you to see the close-up. So once you did our single crochet right there, right in here, where our chain 2 is, we're going to do a single crochet and a single crochet. And I'm going to pull out then once we do that, right in this cluster in the middle, we're going to put a single crochet. In the chain 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets. In the cluster, we're going to put 1 single crochet. In the chain 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And we're going to repeat this right across to the end. And I just wanted to do a close-up so you could really see where I'm going. And once you get past the first and second row, once you get past like this row and this, then it becomes that much more that you can actually see where you're going. So now we're going to go right in the middle of this and make a single crochet right in the middle of that cluster. And then right here where the chain 2 is, we're going to make 2 single crochets like we did in the others. And in the chain 3, 1, 2, and the third chain, because we want to leave 2 chains for where your single crochets go, that's why we go into the third chain, we're going to make a single crochet. And this is how pretty is that? Okay, so now that was row 1, or should I say row 2 of your 2-row repeat. So now your third row of your 2-row repeat, because you made the single crochets, you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those chain 5s, that 1, 2, and 3 is considered your double crochet, and the 2 remaining chains are considered your chain 2 space. You turn your work around. You are not going to work in this because that's your double crochet. You're going to skip this spot, and in this spot, you're going to make your cluster. And you're going to close it up when you have 4, and then you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. I'm going to go out a little more. Now we're going to skip 1, 2, and in this one we're going to make another cluster. One, 2, skip, skip, chain 1, chain 2, skip, skip, cluster. chain 1, chain 2. Skip, skip, right above, you're going to make a cluster. Chain 1, chain 2, skip, skip. In this last stitch, we're going to make a double crochet. So this is row 2 and row 3 of your 2-row repeat. So in this next row, we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work around and we're going to start row 2 and 3 again. As always, you're going to go into this first stitch and you're going to make a single crochet. You're going to do the next 2 stitches, you're going to make 2 single crochets where that chain 2 space is. In that cluster, you're going to just make 1 single crochet. In this stitch, you're going to make 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. In this cluster, you're going to make 1 single crochet. Again, the chain 2 space, 2 single crochets. A single crochet in your cluster from below. 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. A single crochet in your cluster. Two single crochets in the chain 2 space, a single crochet in your cluster, 2 single crochets in that last chain 2 space, and remember a single crochet in the 1, 2, and the 3rd chain, because what you want to do is you want to leave those 2 chains for your chain 2 space to make your 2 single crochets. And there it is. Now I want to mention that at the end, whenever it is that you're making, whether it's a scarf, a shawl, and actually an Afghan, a baby blanket, end with a single crochet across, and that will finish it off very nicely. So this is your cluster mesh stitch, and it is a really pretty stitch in a variegated or a multicolor yarn, an ombre yarn. This would be beautiful as well. This is in the light green, and this is in the lemonade, the pretty yellow. So I hope you liked this tutorial of the cluster mesh stitch. It's really pretty, it's versatile. Let me know what you would make with this stitch. This is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the cluster mesh stitch. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a nice evening. Thank you for being here. Let's all keep crocheting together. Stay safe, stay cool, and love you all. Bye-bye.